What's going on, you guys? It's your boy, Matt, and I'm glad to be back here with you on another Rambler Diaries. The candles are lit, and I have my LED lights lit up in a burnt orange. Of course, perfect for the holiday season of Halloween, and definitely a good vibe for the spooky season, of course. A lot has been going on as of recent. But definitely excited for a lot of cool stuff that is happening the rest of October. Last weekend, uh, pretty much a group of friends of mine and myself, we went to Scarefest in New Haven, and we got to go on a haunted hayride, and there was a beer tent, which may I say, uh, granted, this is not a sponsor, but if they do want to sponsor me, I am so for it. But Blake's Cider Mill, they came out with a Blake's American Apple cider, and I'm not gonna lie, next to my apple pie Tennessee cider, this is probably the best fall cider I have ever had. It's 8% alcohol. But I'm telling you what, it is dangerous. Reason why it's dangerous is because it tastes so good. It tastes just like apple cider, but I'm telling you what, if you chug a couple of those, yeah, you're gonna definitely feel it. That was kind of my mistake. A group of friends were like, "All right, it's time to go to the hayride. Chug your drink, Matt." So I chugged it, and then they're like, "Oh, never mind." So I had to go buy another one, and then I started drinking that one. They're like, "Oh, chug that one now," and I'm like, "Son of a bitch, really?" So, but all in all, I did get to enjoy it, so which is a plus. But I was very excited to do uh, the hayride. It was very entertaining. Of course, a couple of like my buddy Preston got spooked because he was sitting on the back, and this character popped up and scared the bejesus out of him. It was pretty funny. Uh, and then it was my friend Angela, Julia, and my buddy Kyle and myself. We went into this haunted trail. Pretty much, it's like it's like a haunted house, but it's like outside, and you just walk through different things, and it was pretty good. Um, Lots of characters that were pretty funny. Um, this one chick goes, "I want to feast on your toes," and I just didn't care, and I thought it would be funny to just holler out, "Ooh, kinky." So that got everybody to laugh. But we went into this like little part of it where there was like cloth or towels. It was just a whole bunch of like long fabric all bunched together, and like we couldn't see where we were going. We didn't know where exactly we were going. So Kyle's in front, I'm second, Julia's behind me, and Angela's behind her. And we're all holding on to each other so we don't lose each other. And all of a sudden I see this skeleton looking character that it looks like a demon fish or something like that. And he's just sitting there in the corner, just waiting for somebody to notice. And of course, I'm the only one that turns and sees him, and I go, huh. But I don't like really scream or anything like that. I just go, huh. But as I'm going, making that noise, I take Kyle by his jacket, and I lift him up like an offensive lineman from of the NFL, and I pin him against the wall. And I'm like, "Move, Kyle, go, go." And he's like, "I'm against the wall." And I go, "Whoops." And I take him off the wall and set him back onto the ground so he can find our way out. And that was the only kind of like surprise part of it. The rest of the time, I mean, it was entertaining. We were all laughing and just enjoying the whole kind of festive kind of theme of it. um and then but that was my last weekend. And then this weekend I got coming up, it's my buddy Thomas's sister's annual Halloween party. She always does a great job, and it's so much fun getting to see different people that I haven't seen pretty much in all year, and getting to talk with them, having conversation. It's always a fun time because everybody dresses up in a costume. Doesn't matter what it is. I'm going as a lifeguard at this party. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I got 4 different Halloween parties that I'm going to, and 2 that I'm going to next weekend. The 28th, I'll be going in, or the 27th and the 28th. I'll be dressed up as Macho Man Randy Savage. So I'll be definitely in character. But the lifeguard one, that's this weekend, I pretty much, it was not that hard to kind of get I guess the costume part of it. It's not really a costume, it's just kind of different things that I've gotten over time. I mean, I got a sweatshirt jacket, or sweatshirt, that I got when I was in Ludington, and then it kind of just went from there. I mean, I got a bucket hat, I got a tank top, I got a red bathing suit. The only thing that I had to purchase this year was a whistle and red flip flops. So I'm really excited to wear that, and kind of strut my shit, I guess you could say, as a lifeguard. If somebody at the party wants to videotape me in slow motion running, I guess that would be pretty funny to do a little Baywatch thing. Um, but I'm really excited for that. Also, I will be helping out my grandparents um, stack wood. For the winter. They have a smoker to warm up their house, so that's pretty cool. So definitely gonna help them out with that in the morning, and then my grandma is gonna be in the kitchen making quote unquote dinner, even though we're probably gonna eat like about noonish slash like 2 o'clock or so. I mean, she's got a whole meal prep for it, like a whole meal ready for us, and I'm really excited to eat that because I can't say it enough. I love her cooking. It's so good and it fills you up. And I can definitely tell you this: anytime I'm around them, I never go hungry. So that's a plus. So I'm really excited for this weekend. And then I also went to the ears, nose, and throat doctor this past week. Um, so I've been having trouble breathing out of my nose, and I didn't know if I had a deviated septum, allergies. I didn't know what I had. I just needed to figure it out. So went to the ears, nose, and throat doctor, and then he did some things with my ears and my throat and stuff like that. um and he's and he checked my nose, and he just looked at it real quick, and he pretty much, it goes on a scale from 1 to 4, 4 being the worst. And my dad's had a deviated septum. He had a 5 because he broke his nose in high school. He was running for a pass, just goofing around, and then got too close to the goalpost and just whacked the hell out of his face. And pretty much his nose was on the left side of his face and broke it. So his septum was all the way over to the left side. Um, as an adult, and it was pretty much to the point where it was a no breathing on the left nostril. But anyway, so doctor checks out my nose, and he's like, uh, he just looks at it real quick, tells the the assistant that's with him, he's like, about a 3.5 or 3.5. And of course, he takes this little camera thing and he sticks in my nose, and he goes, "Never mind, it's a 4." Now, remind you, 4 is the worst. Okay, my dad had a 5, which is over 4. So mine, I can breathe somewhat. Like, I would say about maybe 15% out of my right nostril. But yeah, I mean, the my septum, my is like all the way over, is like not all the way over, but it's pretty close to the right side of my nose. So we'll probably have to have surgery on it, and it's a simple surgery. I mean, like I said, my dad had it, and he was telling me that he could breathe like he's never breathed before. My stepdad has had that same surgery, and he said that it's a great surgery, and especially with the doctor that's going to be doing mine has both done my stepdad and my dad, so I know I'm in good hands. Um, so probably won't get it anytime soon. May get it in March or February, who knows, but I'm, you know, uh ready to kind of breathe a little bit normal. I thought about it, and I'm 26 years old. I can, you know, live a long happy life with a deviated septum. It's not life threatening, but, I figure, I'm young, might as well get it now, and that way I can live the rest of my life and breathe like a normal person that doesn't have a deviated septum. So with that, I mean, the cause of it, I mean, growing up, being a boy, you roughhouse with buddies or brothers, and then I also wrestled for 2 years, and a lot of guys, put my face into the mat or did what's called a cross face cradle, and you put your thumb knuckle into the person's nose to turn their head so you can grab their arm and pretty much put them in a cradle pin. So I got pretty much would get my nose grinded on, uh, and so, with that, I mean, it's it definitely has done some justice on my nose, and so figured might as well possibly get a surgery done at 26 years old, so that way I can live a long nice life um of breathing out of my nose. So, but that's kind of what's been going on. Now, if you've seen on Facebook or Instagram of the Rambler Diaries post, I'm gonna post a like a scary trail if you haven't seen it yet. But pretty much I figure I'd tell you this one story that I found out, and it's actually quite funny. Um, but this woman, uh I think, falls in love with a ghost. So let me look it up here for you. Pretty much, according to a report, a woman has claimed she has been sleeping with a ghost for 20 years, but the quote unquote relationship turned sour when she caught a glimpse of the ghoul's terrifying face. The woman's name is Paula Flores. She says her relationship with the entity started when she was younger and then led to 2 decades of passionate nights together. I don't know about, like, have a relationship with a ghost, but I mean, doesn't really sound that fun. I mean, but you and then the fact that she's like, yeah, saw the ghost face, not a fan. So, but I mean, I don't. The fact that you're in a relationship with a ghost, I mean, I can definitely tell you she's not American, but to each their own, I guess. So, not saying anybody's better that's not an American, but I'm just saying, like, something must have been wrong upstairs in her head. But I mean, the fact that she was like, she saw the ghoul's face, and just pretty much was like, yeah, this isn't working. So, but other than that, I have a scary story for you. This actually was a dream of mine, and I figured I'd share it with you now that it's spooky season. So it's pretty interesting, and the fact that this was a dream, um, I don't know, kind of shocks me a little bit, but then again, it's kind of a cool story, and it's kind of it kind of bounces around, as dreams do. But figured I'd play some background music for you. So here you go. My family and I moved into a new house. Just my parents, my older gothic teenage sister, my little sister who is only 4. The house is black and it looks very run down. There's a black metal gate with different animals from a rat, a cat, and even a chimpanzee is carved into it. Also seems to have bullet holes in it. The neighbors and town folks say our house is haunted, but we just don't believe in that kind of stuff. We are a good Christian family looking to start a new life in a new location. As I walk through the town, I pass a long, black haired Latin boy with his sister, who is about the age of 6, and their mother and father. He's playing a black guitar, but there's no strings. For some reason, the sound of strumming solo is in the air. There's no one around us playing a guitar, and there are no speakers in sight. Just a small old TV in the store window that is turned off. The little girl points to me and says, "Mama, look." As the parents look at me in terror and then look at their son making the high pitched strumming with no strings. In Spanish, she starts saying a prayer and grabbing the children by the arm and to hurry away. The noise fades to a stop. The boy slowly stops strumming, and just after that, the small old TV in the window turns on. An old movie is playing. Then there is a laughter of a man and a woman, so I guess it was the movie. That night, we all are in the living room playing a simple game before bed. Every now and again, we hear footsteps walking through the upstairs. My father calms our nerves by saying it's only the wind and how it's such an old house, so it must be settling. Once it's bedtime, we rushed upstairs to our rooms. My room is ice cold, and I complain to my mother of how cold it is. She calms my worries by telling me once I'm asleep and warm and snuggled in my bed, I won't notice the cold. After a few hours, I start to fall asleep and feeling warm in my bed like my mother told me. I notice the sheets start getting tighter and tighter, like they are being pulled from the left and the right of me. But from underneath the bed, I can hardly breathe. And it won't stop. It just keeps being pulled on me. I yell, "Stop it, stop it," then become silent. I start to elevate, hovering over my bed. I start to rotate like a rotisserie chicken at the market. Still out of breath, I try and gasp for air and yell, "Stop it," 2 more times. And on the third one, my yell, the voice that comes from inside of me becomes deep, almost demon-like a roar of thunder. "Stop it." I fall flat on the bed and onto the face of the pillow. As I look around the room, it's empty. But then my older sister bursts through the room. Her eyes are wide open, and her braces smile is abnormally large, almost cartoonish. She's so stiff, feet together and arms spread apart like she's mimicking Christ's death. I call out to her, saying her name multiple times. She just stares at me with those wide eyes, not even blinking, and that large smile. I ask, "Won't smiling like that hurt your braces?" She then pulls out a pencil and starts coloring her teeth, plucking the wires from her braces and puncturing her gums. In this process, her mouth becomes a black and bloody mixture as she yells in a high psychotic screech, "Braces? Braces? Braces?" She drops the pencil and lunges her arms at me, mouth wide open as a crocodile. All is black darkness. Am I still breathing? Am I alive? I also just lay there. I was just having a bad dream. Whew. It was only a dream. I opened my eyes in relief, but noticed a black male figure. He is in the corner. A black male figure. A shadow in the corner. Hopefully you enjoyed the story. The background music, of course, ended, but figured that was a pretty good scary story. Of course, it was definitely a nightmare. I woke up and I was like, I was covered in sweat. It was ridiculous. So hopefully you enjoyed the Rambler Diaries. Make sure you go onto the social media of Magnificent Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. Give it a follow. Also, if you have a interesting story, like a dream that you had that was somewhat of a nightmare, you can DM the social media on Facebook and Instagram. And I also just got a new email for the podcast. It's magnificentpodcast at gmail.com. So if you have a story, it can be funny, or of course during this time, it can be spooky. If you had a bad dream or even a funny dream, that would work too. Just send it on over to any of those, and I will be happy to read it back on the podcast if you would like me to. Um, I can read it on the next Rambler Diaries. Make sure you spread the word to your friends and family about the podcast. Always love new listeners. And I will catch you on the spooky side. See ya.